Morning, everyone. I feel like a teacher sometimes. Morning, Mr. Baxter. So, today, after the twist yesterday, I know I'm feeling a little bit sore in the obliques and the spine, so we're going to lengthen the spine today. So, a lot of different poses. There'll be some intense poses, but a lot of the easy poses to lengthen the spine, just like bringing chin to chest, lengthening spine. So, we'll be doing a bit of that today. So, you'll need your strap, block, bolster, whatever you've got that covers all those things. And we're going to get straight into it. So we're going to go into child's pose first off. And I'm going to use the bolster. Because after yesterday, I'm still a little bit stiff and I'm still moving house. So still got stuff going on, cleaning and stuff. So a little bit stiff, so I'm going to use the bolster just to come down. So knees out wide, big toes together, and then slowly come down into the pose. Then after about a minute, I'm going to take the bolster away and then I'll just get closer and closer to the floor. So don't be scared of doing that sort of stuff, particularly if you don't feel right. So child's pose is a really nice way to start the lengthening process of the spine. We're working now, as well as opening the hips, we're working on the lower spine, which is the one that's compressed through sleep. So we need to release that. If we don't release that, a lot of the poses you'll feel uncomfortable in because the compression's still there. That's why child's pose is always good when I'm going to any back, any spine focus. And just the normal connecting to the breath. Deep inhale, long, slow exhale. Just connecting to that. Should be very familiar with the process now, and just once you get used to that process, it becomes normal. And anything you do, you find yourself naturally just connecting to the breath. So halfway through now, you should start feeling the opening in the spine. Just relax. Get that inhale deeper. And last 30 seconds in child's pose. We're going to move straight into the next pose from child's pose. So just think about the next pose. We're moving into melting heart or anahatasana or extended puppy. Depends where you're from, what you call it. So when you're ready, slowly come up. Just remember from child's pose, what you do is just lift your hips up, slide the arms forward, bring chest to ground, chin to floor, and reach forward. Bring the feet back away from each other. If that's too much, forearms, forehead to floor. And today's not a bad day to bring forehead to floor, bring chin towards chest because we're lengthening the spine. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But I just want to open up this way first, over the full pose. You can have the bolster underneath you. A lot of you know now your most comfortable position. You want hips up. poses. Okay, so we're stretching that back, the lower back, the opposite direction now. This is going to get us prepared. Everyone's exactly where they need to be. So we're halfway through. This is a really nice pose because you can go into it just any way you feel in the day. For that day, the hips up, you're doing the correct pose because you're lengthening through the back and doing the opposite to child's pose. But you can get a deep shoulder stretch if you feel like that. You don't feel like a shoulder stretch, you don't have to go into the shoulder stretch. And the opening of the chest comes here as well. The shoulder blades become close together. So the last 50 seconds here. Beautiful. Inhale should be really deep now. Should be very focused on the breath. And when you're ready, we're going to slide forward into crocodile pose because we're going to work strengthening and the opening of the back next. So bring the toes out, heels in, stack the hands, and just drop the head down. Just going to work our way up the back, stretching through the back, strengthening the spinae recti muscle. Then we can start lengthening, and you'll feel a lot better lengthening through the spine once we do this. So we're not in these poses for a great deal of time. So bring the legs together. This way. Feet together, bring the hands either side of the rib cage, elbows in, tops of the feet on the floor, and we're just lifting the chest off the floor, just the chest. So half Bhujangasana. Bring the elbows in, drop the shoulders down, and lift. So you don't want too much pressure on the hands or weight on the hands. It's just there to hold you a little bit, just guide you. Squeeze the glutes, come up a little bit higher. Elbows in, chin away from the chest. Come up a little bit higher. And then exhale, come down. Bring the left cheek on the mat and the arms down by the sides of the body. Just have the toes pointing inwards, heels outwards, and just relax. So that was Ardha Bhujangasana. So now we're going to do Salabhasana. So Salabhasana, bring the feet back together. We want to bring the arms underneath the body. I don't think I've done this online for quite a while. Margaret would know this. We did it on Monday, Jim, I think. So bring the arms in as close as you can go, and you lay on the arms. Chin on the floor, looking forward. Get arms down. And then we're going to point the right toes and lift 45 degrees. Lift that right leg. So lift Hold, breathe. Should be feeling this in the arms as well. And slowly come down. On the left toes. Lift the left leg 45 degrees. Hold, keep pointing the toes, lift. And then slowly, slowly come down. So bring those elbows closer to each other, the hands close to each other if you can. Bring the forehead, the tip of the nose, from the chin on the floor, looking down to the floor. Point both sets of toes away from you, roll the shoulders inwards, then lift both legs up. Lifting. Both legs together, bring the feet together, come up, come up, come up. Lift those thighs off the floor, get up a little bit higher. Lift, lift, well done. Lift, lift, lift. And then slowly, slowly come down. Release the arms. Right cheek on the mat. And relax. So now we're going to Purnasalabhasana, which is full locust pose. So bring the hands out in line with the shoulders. Feet together. Chin on the floor, looking forward. And we lift everything up. Everything comes up. Eyes, chest, arms, chin away from the chest. Keep coming up. Bring the shoulder blades together. So work those shoulder blades in together. You bring that chest up higher. Reach out as far as you can with the hands. Now bring the feet towards each other and lift the thighs off the floor. Chin up, chest up, come up. Well done, everyone looks good. And down, left cheek on the mat. Arms down by the sides. Big toes touch, drop the heels away. Ardha, Bhujangasana, Salabhasana, Purnasalabhasana. Now we're doing Dhanurasana. So bend the knees up, this is floor bow. So bring the hands onto the feet. Bring the shoulder blades together. Just bring the forehead onto the floor for a sec. Bring those shoulder blades as close as you can to each other. Then lift the head up, chest up. Now kick the feet into the hands and you'll feel that pressure in the back, and then lift the thighs off the floor. So keep kicking and lifting. So you want the thighs off the floor as you point those toes up. Kick, kick, kick. Now bring the chest up as high as you can go. Kick as high as you can go. And release. Right cheek on the mat and just relax. That's the awesome done. It's a pretty important part of the session I've got together today. So your back, you can get lots of blood flowing through the back now. So now we've got the ability to open up through the spine, just with some easier poses than what we've just done there. A few breaths, really want to just relax this back for a minute. And when you're ready, you're going to help yourself up. We're going to move into Supta Baddha Konasana. So you've got the option today to use something behind you. We'll try and use the strap today. So a lot of the times I give you the option with no strap, but if you can, just use the strap. So the full pose is this one. So I've got the bolster behind me or a cushion, whatever you've got. Bring the strap around the feet. We've got soles of the feet together, so that's butterfly pose. I'll put the strap on. Strap on. Tighten strap. Put the strap on like I'm putting a shirt on. And then up against the bolster and come back. So what that's doing now is lifting the lower back up out of the hips. Okay, so then we bring the shoulder blades together and open up through the chest and bring chin towards the chest. Okay. So take your time getting into this one because it's a really important pose. When you get this right, you feel awesome after it. We're in it for 4 minutes. It's a really important pose where we want to go next. Beautiful. And just relax. If you've got the strap knot around you, just pull on it until you get that tension and just hold there. If you don't want a cushion or anything behind you, just lay flat on your back but bring chin to chest. Okay, so that's the major thing, chin to chest. The difference between laying on the floor and having something behind you is just in the hips. Okay, so that's the difference. Just lifting that lower back out of the hips. Getting the chest open, chin to chest, we're lengthening the spine. So straight on the floor, lengthening the spine is the main thing that we're after. So just a bonus as we're opening through the hips. This is a real heart opener. So it causes emotions to start releasing instead of holding onto emotions by rolling forward. Opening up releases emotions. Just remembering a lot about physicality, the way we walk, the way we sit, the way we communicate, all depends on how we hold emotions or release emotions. So the more open we are, the less chance we've got hanging on to garbage and stuff that you don't want. So just become open, not just physically but mentally as well. And you realise a lot of the baggage that you hang on to, you really don't need it. Just breathe and relax. There's always a lot of poses that say, this is what you should do at home. This one here is probably the pose that I would suggest for everyone to do. If you're just laying around doing nothing and you want to relax and you find it hard, this one here just opens you up. It just feels so nice. You can stay in it for, I can read a book in this pose for 20 minutes or so. So we've got 1:30 to go. Just after what we've done so far, which is not even 20 minutes into the class, you're going to feel really open. And this would be enough for you to move on with your day, what we've just done. Now what we're going to do is just start healing the body. So this is just releasing tension, allowing blood flow. So the next part of the session is actually healing the body. Giving ourselves space back. When you're ready, we're going to slowly come out of the pose into Shavasana, as fast as you can go, not as fast as you can go. Nice and easy, getting in Shavasana and relaxing. So I always find when I come out of that pose, I feel where I'm tight. So I can feel that my left hip flexor is really tight today from some of the stuff I was doing yesterday. So you'll feel that things are starting to shift and things are starting to move. So all these next poses are going to get deep into those areas what we need to get into. And you know the poses. You probably don't like some of them, but they'll work really well. Okay, so before we go into opening through the spine, we're going to come into a back bend. We're going to do bridge pose, but we're not going to hold the bridge pose. Okay, so we're only going to hold it for 30 seconds or so. And we're going to go through the 3 bridge poses. So really getting into that spine. So bring the soles of the feet up onto the floor, feet hip width apart, hands down by the sides, chin towards the chest. This is the start of the lengthening. Chin towards the chest. Bring the heels as close as you can to the butt without touching the butt. And if you reach down, you should be able to touch your backs of your heels. If not, it doesn't matter, but that's sort of a guide where you should be. We're going to squeeze the glutes, push down through the heel and the big toe and lift. We're just going to lift up. So feel that chin coming to the chest now. So this is, we're starting to lengthen through the spine. Okay, so squeeze the glutes, come up a little bit higher. Chin to chest. That's where you should be feeling the stretch down through the cervical spine. So squeeze the glutes, come up a little bit higher, and then slowly come down. Okay, so you should have felt the difference there in the spine. So what we're going to do now is move into the next one, and that's hands down by the side, push up, do exactly the same thing. And then we're going to go deeper into the spine. It's up to you if you want to stay here, you can stay here. You can bring the hands behind the body, interlace all 10 fingers. Now walk those shoulder blades together. That sternum comes up really high and pushes the chest into the chin as you push the chin into the chest. Push down through the heel, big toe, lift, squeeze the glutes. You're going to stretch through the shoulder, stretch through the neck and the entire spine. So lift and then exhale, release, slowly come down. Release the hands. Now just have a breath. I'm going to show you the third one. If you want to do the third one, you're comfortable, do it. If not, we're going to do the second one again. So the progression through bridge pose is the first one is obviously supported bridge. The next one is that one, what we did, then the hands underneath, the third one, and then the fourth one is the wheel. So you bring the hands over, the shoulders there, fingers pointing to the shoulders. You don't want your elbows to point out, okay? You want them in towards the ears. Bring the feet a little bit closer to the hips. You lift the hips up, put the head on the floor, and then push up. So that gets really deep through the entire back. I don't want to come down, I'll just stay here. So go into whichever one you prefer as your last one. So it could be just the one where your hips up, or it could be hands behind, or if you've done this before, it's a really good one to do. If not, I should do a video on how to get into this one actually. Bring the elbows in, feet closer together, head on the floor, and then lift. So just breathe. We're going to stay in this for about 30 seconds or so. Make sure you're squeezing the glutes. And breathing, bringing shoulder blades together, squeeze, lift, and then slowly come down, and then into Shavasana. And relax. Just completely relax. So just once your back strengthens up, you'll work into wheel pose, which is a Dharmarasana, so it's a floor bow as well. Just take your time trying to get into, particularly that second one, the one with the hands behind your back. Work your time into that, getting the shoulder blades together. Once you do that, you get into wheel pose really easy. So now we're going to bring the knees into the chest, have a squeeze. The back is really ready to lengthen now. So come up, roll up, grab your strap. One of the best ways to lengthen this spine is with the strap. And come into Janu Shavasana. So right leg out, left foot up against the thigh. We want the leg straight today, okay? So not out. We did all the twists yesterday. Today we're lengthening. So grab the strap. I'll turn side on here. So these are fairly intense, so just take your time to get into the pose. So strap, go as low as you can on the strap, pull on the strap, shoulder blades together, inhale, lengthen, exhale, come down. And just remember stomach to thigh. If there's no stomach to thigh, just work there. Just keep working on stomach to thigh. If you've got stomach to thigh, keep pulling on the strap to bring yourself closer towards the shin. And as you get closer to the shin, you bring your chin, tuck it under, and bring forward to knee. Okay, so it's forehead to knee pose. Janu Shavasana. If you don't, once you've got your stomach on your thigh, you'll realise you might not need the strap. You can still use it, but you might not need it. And bring your elbows down towards the floor. Just hold there. A couple of minutes to go. So keep pulling, push that heel away. That's what's going to lengthen, and that's what's going to get your stomach to the thigh if you're still working on that. We need to lengthen that hamstring. This is what we're doing here, is lengthening the hamstring. And that's going to release the hips, which will give you length in the back. They all work for each other, all these muscles and tendons. So coming down, keep breathing, and just keep, I know there's a few people that take a long time to get that stomach to the thigh, but just keep working it. Just keep working with it. It'll happen. One day it'll get there and you'll just go, wow, this feels awesome. So just keep working away with it. Beautiful. You've got 45 seconds to go, so just come into it as deep as you can go. Last 15 seconds. Slowly, slowly come up, releasing the strap. And as quick as possible, just flip straight over. Because now we're releasing the blood through that knee, so we don't have to take time. We can go straight into it, get the strap. Just feel the difference on this side. You might feel a little bit different here. Then we pull on the strap, shoulder blades together, chin up, chest up, and come down. Don't even look at the leg when you're coming down. Just look away from the leg. And once your body says stop, that's where you need to go. Then you can start looking down towards the leg. Because when you look down towards the leg, it shifts the projection of your spine, so you start rolling the spine. So keep looking away as you're coming down, and then tuck under. Beautiful. It's really good. Some really good poses. Just keep pulling harder on the foot. If you've still got the strap, just keep pulling and lengthening. So what's happening is your spine is pulling out of the hip area. And that's what you want, because then you get the tilt of the pelvis, and then that's when the stomach hits the thighs. So that's all that's actually holding you back, is that release of the spine from the hip area. Everyone's doing it really well. It's really, really good. And the stillness, that's what's going to get you. That's what's going to get you further into the pose. Awesome. Once you're in the position, looking, so tucking the chin under towards the chest. Yeah. Beautiful. What that's going to do, that's going to bring you forward a little bit more. So Janu Shavasana is always, once you lengthen and the stomach's on the thighs, we're tucking the chin under and bringing forward to knee. The next pose is Paschimottanasana, which is different, bringing forward away, chest away, chin away from chest. Last minute. If you've got around your foot, start just working those elbows. So bend the elbows. You don't have to reach the floor. There's that intention of bending. So you start to feel the release in that lower back. It just feels awesome. So last 15 seconds. Slowly come down to the pose. Stretch that right leg out and give yourself a bit of a shake. So we're coming straight into Paschimottanasana. So I'd rather do all these poses together and then have a quick break, because we've got a couple of inversions after that. So both feet together, lengthen through the spine, use the strap. Even if you can reach your toes, just use it to get that stomach and that stomach to the thighs. So pull on the strap, get as low as you can on the strap. Inhale, lengthen, shoulder blades together. Remember, don't look down until you have to. Looking up. Then you can start looking down. And then once you're looking down at your toes, and that's where the body is, it doesn't matter if your stomach's on your thighs or not, but keep working to stomach to thighs. Then start moving the hip bones back, the seat bones I should say. Just keep moving the seat bones backwards. So it's just a little shuffle either side. If you look at me, what it's doing to me is bringing me more forward. So it's releasing that lower back out of the hip area. Looking at our toes on this one. Looking at your toes, you can grab your toes or have the Hands around your feet. Keep breathing. Keep looking at the toes, because your head is going to touch the toes one day. So you've got a couple minutes to go. Just remember, you're going to feel awesome at the end of this. Pulling and bringing that chest toward the stomach to thighs. Working that. Breathing, just under a minute to go. You're going to really enjoy the release from this. You'll feel that blood just flowing through as you release. You'll always find it's the poses that you struggle with the most is the poses you really, really need. So I went through years of avoiding poses that I really, really needed. And I do them all the time now, but definitely if there's a pose there you go, I just hate this pose, just work with it. Just work with it. You'll eventually like it. And when you're ready, slowly release. Just release the strap. Bend the legs up. We'll give them a shake first, then bend up and come into windshield wipers, but really slow. So just make sure you get that twist in the spine as you come down on each side. And then come back to center. So then we're going to bring the legs out wide and come into dragonfly before we go into a shavasana. Okay, so then we're doing that whole region. You should feel a lot more comfortable here. You should, I don't, but lengthening through the spine again. Chest forward, chin up, and slowly come down. Beautiful. Have the bolster in front if you like. Or a block. Just have in your head is the focus is to get to the ground, but that's not what it's all about. Pose isn't about getting to the ground. You may never get to the ground, but obviously the end result, If you're driving somewhere, you want to put in Google Maps where you want to go. That's the end result. You might never get there. That's the end result. Work towards getting there. Just work towards that place. And then that's the beauty of the pose. It's what you're going through. You've got to work with. And the more positive talk you put through your mind, that's if you put any talk through your mind, the better it is. Once you release the positive talk into just the breath, then you'll start getting deeper into the pose. Okay, so get rid of negative, move to positive, and then move to breath. And Ray better put the timer on. So you'll find, obviously doing a lot of yoga with me, I use the same sort of array of poses, but it's the sequences you put them in for what you need it for. And the reason I use a good chunk of poses, there's only so many poses you can do, but the poses that I do, there's so many benefits in each area of the body. You can do all these fancy poses, like crow and stuff like that, but they look cool, but you're not really getting much out of them. So it's best to stick to the really, I suppose they're proper hatha poses. No one's played with them. You just do them, hold them, and you get the benefits from them. It's pretty typical with yoga, like once America got hold of it, they started doing all this fancy stuff with it. It's not about the fancy stuff. It's not about putting your foot to the back of your head. It's about working through what you've got, working with what you've got. Each day, as you all know, it's completely different on the mat. So progression in yoga takes a while. It's just showing up on the mat. And probably the most I've progressed in yoga was obviously yoga teacher training, because you're doing 3 classes a day. But then after that, it's just turning up every day, just doing something. Once you do that, progression will become pretty obvious to you. And then to everyone else, not physically, but mentally. And yoga's working when people say to you, wow, you've become really calm and relaxed. What's happened to you? And that's when you know you're going in the right direction. You're ready, slowly coming up. Come into a really, really well-deserved Shavasana. You're going to feel this in the hamstrings, and that's where we wanted to feel it, because we lengthen the back. Just relax in Shavasana. The next few poses are going to be inversions. So just relax that breath, just work with the breath. And then when you're ready, just bend the knees up, soles of the feet on the floor, but knees together, and just come into windshield wipers that way. Really important to start feeling the clicking, the moving of the hips to reset that lower back. Reset the hips. So now we're going to come into legs up. So you can choose the wall, or you can choose hands underneath, or you can choose block or bolster underneath. So depending what you feel like you want to do, I'm probably going to use the wall. So a good 3 minutes in this one. This is going to really relax that lower back. So we've really worked the hips and the lower back a lot. I just want to relax that for the next pose. So the biggest part here is once you're comfortable, chin to chest. Okay, so still lengthening through that spine, chin to chest. And this is just warming us up for the next pose, which is the peak pose, I suppose. It's where everything that we've done comes to fruition, but I'm spend a bit of time on the next pose to show you how to get into it correctly and to get most of the benefits out of it.
Sunshine.
So halfway through, this is just a really nice relax. That blood now is running through. We've worked the heart rate a lot from the back bends and from the hamstring stretch and stretching through that lower back. So this is now relaxing the heart rate a little bit. Chin to chest, keep bringing chin to chest. And when you're ready, slowly, slowly bring the legs down. If you're up against the wall, just come back over to your mat and just lay on your mat. Just relaxing. You want that blood to flow back legs because we're going to release that again, but I'm just going to show you how to do the pose properly. So just have 30 seconds in Shavasana. So when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest and roll up to a seated position. I'm just going to move this down a touch. There we go. So I'm going to show you shoulder stand. So shoulder stand is a really important pose. once you start getting that spine lengthened. So everything we've worked to in this class comes to shoulder stand. Okay, so shoulder stand, there's a load of benefits in it, but what we're doing is lengthening the spine. So this shows you how to lengthen the spine. So the length of the spine, I know a couple of you have got issues in the cervical spine, and so that can really, and so have I, so that can really be affected by this. So to get rid of those issues that you've got, we need to lengthen there. Okay, so that's what got rid of my bulging discs, is to lengthen through the spine. And so shoulder stand is the best process to do that. Just laying on the floor could be really, really difficult. I could never do shoulder stand. So what you can do is you can get a blanket, place it down, and you have your shoulders on towards the edge of the blanket and your head on the floor. Okay, so if you just watch first, and you can do this later. If you haven't got a blanket, don't worry about it. But this is, I've got a video out there that shows this. It's not enough, you can fold the blanket up more, but have that nice edge at the back. And then what you do is you lift the legs up and then roll up and bring the arms under. And what that's doing is supporting your shoulders and your neck. Legs straight up, chin to chest. And this is shoulder stand right here. Okay? You can get higher up. Shoulder stand there. And always be in shoulder stand for about a minute before you move into plow. That's if you want to move into plow. And come back up. Okay, so if you're a bit sus about shoulder stand, just come into it like this. If it hurts your neck a little bit, just come into it like this and just work your hips up like that. Doesn't matter about straightening the legs at first, just got to get comfortable like that, okay? And then work your way up. So work into shoulder stand the best way you can. And it's about bringing chin to chest. If you can't get your hands up under, I'd put a block underneath of your hips. So like this, I'll just place the block underneath. And then lift the legs up like that. And then eventually you're going to lift the block up, switch it up, and come up. And then you can use a bolster, and that'll slowly get you used to lifting those hips up. Beautiful. So hold in there. And if you get uncomfortable and you've had enough, come out of the pose. Just in it for a couple of minutes. But a lot of you have been doing yoga long enough now to start moving into this. That's really good, Chris. That looks awesome. To move into shoulder stand, because it's a really important pose in the progression of yoga. And don't worry, it took me a long time to do shoulder stand, so don't think you've got to get straight into it and get comfortable. And if you want to come into plow, it's about time to come into plow now. Everyone is in a position which is going to help them progress. You're all doing really, really good. This is the lengthening of the spine that you need. Okay, so always never be afraid to support and continually support until you're comfortable to do it yourself. Just 40 seconds to go. So every week I'm just going to introduce now just a pose that we should start progressing towards. And just remember, you don't have to get there now. I'll be pretty angry if you got there now, because you get there quicker than me. It took me a long time. So just take your time, just work through it. And just simply having your legs up and something underneath is more than enough to get yourself used to this. It's not every day you just hang upside down. So When you're ready, slowly come out of the pose and just move anything that you've got as support, whether it's a blanket or whether it's a cushion or a block, a bolster. Just move the support away. Lay in Shavasana just for 30 seconds, and then we come into the final pose, which is what we're going to do is just the last stretch on the neck. So we've really worked completely up the spine. Your spine should feel absolutely awesome at the end of this. But just allow the blood to flow back through the spine now, and then we'll come into Matsyasana, which is fish pose. So bring your feet together and then come up onto your forearms, so onto your elbows. Then lift your hips and place your hands underneath your hips. Bring the elbows as close as you can towards each other, so you're opening the chest. Push the chest up and drop the head back. Okay, so you can have legs straight, you can point the toes, or you can come into Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together. Drop the head back. You want to try and get the head to the floor eventually, or you can come into Sukhasana, crossing the legs. You can come into Padmasana if you're that good. And just hold here and breathe. Really important way to finish after what we've done with the spine is to finish in Matsyasana. And if you've got any neck issues, this is where you might feel a bit of tingling down the arm, and that's quite normal. Okay, you don't want to feel pain. The tingling is fine, but it's the pain you don't want to feel. So if you're in any pain, release. If you're just feeling tingling, or you're feeling nothing, just hold it. So another 5 or 6 breaths here. And then when you're ready, release the neck. So release the neck first, then release the arms from the body, stretch the legs out, and come into our final pose, Shavasana. Well done, everyone. You've had a complete spine manipulation. So just enjoy Shavasana. So with the spine twisting class we did yesterday, and then that class we've done today, you're guaranteed to start feeling a lot better physically, mentally, your health. Okay, so we've really, really squeezed and stretched the spine. That's why it's really important to keep this type of yoga up, because the more we do this, the more you're just opening up, the better you feel. Now it's time just to focus. Just focus on the beat of the heart right now. Just feel the beat of the heart. Feel the rhythm. And then just focus on the entire chest. As you breathe, Just your normal breath. Be aware of the normal breath. Be aware of what the normal breath, natural breath is doing to your chest. Now to your stomach. Now just feel the natural breath coming through the nostrils. And just while you're laying there in Shavasana, just have a quick scan of the body. Just feel how relaxed you are right now. Just to the body, toes, all the way up. Just feel how deeply relaxed you are. Feel any sensations going through the body. And just bring your awareness mentally to the mind. Just notice what's going on there. Don't get involved, just notice what's happening. Judge it, just notice it. Go back to the nostrils, just feel breath. And just move into Chitta-Kasha for the final time. Just roll those eyes upwards. Just check out Chitta-Kasha, see what's happening in that space, that dark space behind the forehead. Just look there, relax. And then release, just relax the eyes and just release all the tension. Just release everything. And then give yourself a bit of thanks for getting here this morning. Spending that hour totally for you on the mat. Start wiggling the toes and the fingers. Rolling to the right hand side. Taking a breath and working your way up into Sukhasana. Bring those thumbs to the middle of the chest, shoulder blades together. Push the sternum upwards. Again, thank you all for allowing me to take you through the class today. I know you're going to feel pretty awesome after today's class. So have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll see you all again soon. Namaste.